Good morning, everybody. It's Ragnarok Ranger from Ragnarok Theory coming at you with a bunker session again. Yeah, day later, but that's because I'm not in a rush at the moment. Excuse me, really thirsty today. Sorry about the background noise, but it's just so warm in here that which is good because I'm drying rosemary and stuff out with it. But obviously cars do go past. I'm not going to go into the camouflage stuff yet because although some of it's just talking and theoretical, at some point I do want to be able to get out in the field, do a bit of camming up, wear different things and actually show you some contrasts and of what I think. And so until I can do a proper series on it, that's going to take a back burner. So I'm going to try and not keep you long today. I say that all the time, don't I? Right, so I'm just going to go over a few little things this morning that, not myths are they, but they're just what people say, the stuff that circulate again and again and again, and it can be quite confusing, some of it, when someone comes new into bushcraft or survival and they hear all these things and they take it to heart. I've done it myself. So, 72-hour survival, 72-hour survival kit, bag, emergency preparedness, call it what you want. The government promote it, every channel you go and promote it, I promote it, but I promote it from the stance of it's just to keep you going. Okay, so you've just got the basics. You've got food, you've got water, you've got a means to cook, a means to wash, a means to feel human, a means to not have to worry for them 72 hours where you can try and sleep and you can try and look at things from fresh perspectives, and it also gives you that 72-hour buffer to try and find out what's going on. Example, yesterday, all of a sudden, all the electric just went off. You see all my neighbours are now panicking, talking to each other. Those, yeah, I know I've got stored water. I've got camping cookers if we need it, but we've got a gas hob. So I needed a coffee, I just got a little pan out and boiled a bit of water. First thing I did was fill my water bottles up just in case it was going to be quite long out of the taps. Filled the kettle up just so I had some water in the house without having to go to a store and get it. Right, I didn't have to panic. Didn't matter. If it goes on over 12 hours, they have to refund you for stuff in your freezer, and you won't believe what I've got in my freezer at the minute. Yeah, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I just did not panic. The reason I didn't panic is if all the stuff had gone off in our freezer, right, wouldn't have mattered, because the prepping that we do is based around God, we got a vacuum sealing, pastas, rice, stuff like that. Just absolute brain fart then, sorry. And tinned foods. Homesteaders and people that like to can their own foods and that, you're always having to rotate them every few months and stuff like that. I don't find them realistic until it's like after a situation when everyone's back on their feet. And why bother when you can already buy things in a can? Is it healthy? Half the stuff we eat's not healthy. At the point of the need to survive, that stuff is golden. Yeah. And so that's what I mean. Even if it had gone on for 72 hours, prepared way beyond that, right? But I wouldn't have had to worry. So that's why I still hold with the 72 hours preparedness, right? It could be that you've got a bag that's set up to take if you go out and stuff. We'll come on to that in a minute. So gets you over that shock period, and I saw it yesterday. Just because the lights, the electric went off basically on the whole estate. They all ran out. Oh my god! Like little lads as chickens. What we're going to do with it? I'm just going to sit in here, watch through the blinds that you're all panicking, and smile because I'm prepared. Okay, so I wasn't in shock. And again, accumulate knowledge. Give it a couple of hours if the lights are back on. Go on the internet, and they'll have updated the internet. See, that's another thing that I did. I plugged my Garmin watch, and I plugged my phone straight into a power bank. Yeah, and if it had gone on for long, I've got an Anchor power bank that I would have recharged my power banks on. Yeah, because it wouldn't have taken as long. Yeah, so it's this preparedness all the time and giving you time to find that knowledge. Okay, another thing, what you'll come across is the rule of 3. And people love doing this. People love selling you little cards with it on and stuff. So, 3 minutes with no air. Mate, I'm going to be dead long before 3 minutes if I've got no air. I don't see that. Can you hold your breath for 3 minutes? If so, you can last 3 minutes with no air. Me, I can't hold my breath for that long, so I'm probably a lot deader a lot quicker, aren't I? Right? So, I mean, that's an individual thing. Some people probably can hold the breath for that long, so probably would be okay for a few minutes. I don't know. Right? But yeah, I won't want to put that to a test. 3 hours with no shelter. Really? That might if you're on Everest. Or K2 or somewhere extreme, or if you're trapped outside in shorts and t-shirt like I am now in the middle of the mountains and the weather turns, yeah, obviously you could be in dire straits. But as a general rule, 3 hours without shelter, come on mate. Yeah, it's not hard to find shelter if you're within your normal kind of environment. So again, that's more situational again, so it's not written in stone, is it? So again, it's not a rule. 3 days with no water. Absolute fallacy, right? People think, oh, I'm going to die if I don't get water for 3 days. And they panic, try to prioritise water over shelter, which is a mistake. Okay? Right. As soon as your mouth is dry, as soon as you are thirsty, your body's already requiring water. If you don't give it water, things start happening. Okay, so what happens actually over 3 days is that the body starts closing things down, right? And after the 72 hours, that could, depending on you and your health and well-being at that point in time, it could be beyond helping you at that point in time. It may be beyond managing to rehydrate you and keep you going. However, this is again proven to be absolute nonsense quite a lot of times. So the first one, remember Chris Ryan wrote their book, The One That Got Away, where he was the one from Bravo 20 lot that escaped, and he drank that chemical water and burnt all his mouth and stuff. But that was the only drink he had all the way through, like 100 mile tab whatever, right, in a war zone, in the blazing heat of the night and the freezing during the day and the freezing cold of the Iraqi desert on the night, right? So again, it's like, it's how do you conserve your energy? Yeah. And when I used to work in the care industry, I've done a lot of end of life care, and it's when we used to, I mean, I don't think we're doing now, but we used to just start wetting the lips with lemon water and stuff. As they were nearing end of life, there's signs that someone's about to die. But I've seen people cling on and on and on. They haven't had food or water for weeks, but the human soul, the human existence doesn't want to let go. So if it's not a sudden impact, boom, dead, right, bodies cling to life. So again, yeah, it takes a long time sometimes to die from not having any water. So yes, water's important, yeah, but if you haven't got it right now, right then, you've got a buffer zone. So 72 hours is kind of a buffer zone. If you haven't had it after that, you've got to start getting in trouble. And 3 weeks with no food. Again, depends on the person, because if you weigh 30 stone, you can probably last longer because your body will start eating its fat. Right? If you're a really skinny little person with no body fat, you can die a lot quicker. Okay? So, and when you look back, I can remember the hunger strikes, and the hunger strikers, they went for weeks and weeks and weeks without food. And before that guy, that Bobby Sands, he died after 70 odd days or something like that. I mean, that's a long time. So again, 3 weeks without food. To be honest, if you are a skilled survivalist, for want of a word, for a description, and you can't find food for 3 weeks, then you're not that much of a skilled survivalist, are you? Right, one more little subject that I'm going to jump onto before finishing today. Right, just one bag. Emergency preparedness bag, satchel, rucksack, call it what you want. Right, you get all these bags, like a get home bag, a bug out bag, EDC bag, pocket cash, all these different things, right? And then there's the NCH, never coming home bag, and it goes from crazy to just amusing, where you're just laughing and falling off your seat. And you see people again and again and again making videos with the old rucksacks on, right? And you know, they're walking along while they make this video, right? But they're not, are they? What they've done, they've walked for a couple of minutes and put it down. They're going to show you what's in their bag. Because the truth is, they can't actually carry that bag. It weighs way too much, right? Unless you're at the fitness and endurance level of Special Forces, Parachute Regiment, Royal Marine Commandos, or at least infantry style soldiering, you are not used to carrying that weight unless you train to do it every single day. Right? So when it's SHFT and you suddenly pick up this 80 pound, you're not carrying it. Right? So a never coming home bag is absolute nonsense. I'm not going to swear. Okay, a bug out bag. Again, you see the same thing. It's the same as the never coming home bag. It might not have quite as much kit in, but it's got all this at the same basis. So shelter, fire, water, food, a bit of washing kit gets thrown in there. Yeah. So it's the same equipment, but on maybe a smaller amount of it, right, in a slightly smaller rucksack. Or I'll grab this rucksack and I'm off to the woods. Somebody do me, honestly, nonsense, right? It's like you don't need a big bug out bag, right? And a get home bag. Okay, what is a get home bag? My get home bag is the one that I take to work, so it's like I've got some kit in my car anyway, so I've got the basics in my bag. I've normally got food and water in there, and I've got the survival kit, I've got a first aid kit, and I've normally got at least a poncho in there, but I've got all my Ivy's waterproof clothing in my car. Right, so to be honest, I'm sorted, because a get home bag is meant to just be enough to get you home. Well, that's fine, because first instance, if I went to work and my car broke down at work, right, I could make it home in a few hours on foot, easy. Well, when I'm at full fitness, easily, right, because I know that I can do 3 peaks when I'm fit, still at my age. So I know my level, my capabilities for walking. I don't try and do that with an 80 pound rucksack. Okay? And EDC, I would call that never coming home bag, an EDC bag. It's going to be the same size, something you can chuck in, stuff you carry around with you all the time. But think about this, guys, an EDC bag and a get home bag. You can't be carrying big knives around in like you would in the so-called bug out bag, a never coming home bag. Yeah? So these are the slight differences. In these bug out bags, they're probably going to stick a big knife in there, but the electric went off last night. Oh God, I'm bugging out. Stopped halfway down the road, back, please. Big Gulford doors or something like that. That's it, you're going to jail. Seriously. Right, you need one bag. So you need a bag that you take with you everywhere. You just get used to having that bag with you. It doesn't have to be tactical. Yeah? I mean, I've got like a green walking sack. It's got badges on and stuff, but to be honest, if stuff was getting really, really dodgy around my area, I'd take all the badges off. I might go to a plain black bag, or even a multicoloured one that doesn't look tactical whatsoever, but just have a similar amount of kit in it. And that's me, that's my thinking, because all these titles are there to sell you ideas, to sell you kit. Yeah, so let's cut through the BS and let's have a look what's realistic. Right, we do not prepare to survive, we prepare in case we survive. Survival is an instinct. Instinct is everything. Take care out there, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next video.